Remaking a game is never easy, especially when remaking one of the most beloved games of all time, Resident Evil 4.
According to critics and fans, the recent Resident Evil releases have been hit or miss.
How could they possibly improve upon what others consider perfection?
Well, they made perfect.
We all went in with different perspectives on Resident Evil 4. Some of us have cleared the game, others not, and others have played it so many times they can recite each line by heart, word for word, before it's even spoken.
But the general consensus among us is that it's great. Simply put, if you're a fan of the Resident Evil franchise, you'll love this game. But if you've never played a game or you're not the biggest fan, this is the best Resident Evil game for you to sink your teeth in and get the most bang for your buck.
Continuing the over-the-shoulder third-person style the series pioneered with the original Resident Evil 4, Leon S. Kennedy is tasked with finding the President of the United States' daughter in a remote location in Spain.
Picking up 6 years after the Raccoon City fiasco of Resident Evil 2, Leon is clearly worn and tired of what he's become. That nervous, energetic energy he had before has vanished. But he hasn't completely fallen into despair yet, with plenty of quips and jokes throughout the story.
His interactions with the other characters like Luis and Ashley show where he is now as a man. Sure, you're not going to get the great one-liners the original RE4's Leon said, but this character is a direct continuation of the person we saw before, which benefits the story and helps with the suspension of disbelief.
Like we mentioned, there's bang for your buck here, with Leon traversing 3 different main locations, with 16 chapters that will take you more or less an hour each. You've got the village, the castle, and the island.
The village is the perfect way to introduce the creepiness, the eeriness of this land, and it's where you'll first meet the Ganados. The zombies of the old are gone for now, and instead you get these seemingly cultish mind-controlled figures who are not playing nice when they spot you. While you'll see these villager Ganados at first, as you progress, you'll run into different enemy types. And the game does a great job of mixing up the enemy types and keeping things fresh and exciting.
The castle is fantastic, as it employs plenty of horror moments mixed in with action. While the original Resident Evil 4 may have lacked these straight-up survival horror moments, they really did a good job implementing them here, with the reintroduction of the crazy clawmen and Ashley's brief gameplay moment standouts. You'll be on the edge of your seat as you traverse dark hallways and corridors.
Finally, on the island, you'll run into some of the toughest enemies yet, and the game really tries its best to throw everything you've seen back at you.
You have to master Leon's weaponry and new skills if you want to make it far. We have the parry now, so if you have a knife, you'll be able to block most enemy attacks. You also have to dodge to get out of the way of some attacks, and this could be a bit tricky given how quick you have to be, so practice.
There are plenty of weapons to collect, and a myriad of items to craft as well. Depending on your difficulty, it shouldn't be too hard to find materials, although if you play on hardcore or professional, you'll need to be very frugal with how you spend your money and use your items.
But that's why we have the merchant to help us out if we need it. He's back, and his lines are as great as ever. He'll offer plenty of items, trades, and tune-ups for you to get, along with the rewards for completing challenges. Utilizing him will be the key to your first few runs. Merchant rhymes with purchase for a reason, stranger.
The gunplay is smooth and snappy. Leon feels better than ever to shoot down baddies with. Aiming feels very precise too. Most of us here at GPX have a lot of FPS experience, but we can all agree that even a beginner would have an easy time with the control scheme.
They even added 8 weapon slots on the D-pad now. You should have more than enough space for all the weapons you'll be able to carry.
You'll need to put your skills to the test throughout the game, with 4 shooting ranges available, which if completed can yield special rewards.
You also get the free Mercenaries mode, where you play as either Leon, Luis, Krauser, or Hunk as you try and defeat enemies and get a high score.
Now, while the game as a whole is nearly perfect, there are a few points of contention. For starters, the way the game blocks off paths can be a bit troublesome.
The merchant does warn you of progressing forward, but if it's your first playthrough, you'll never quite know which parts will be blocked off. You'll need multiple save files if you want to go get every treasure in each area.
And you'll find some weapons are a bit, well, not so practical. Take the assault rifle, for example. You're going to need infinite ammo if you want to use this thing properly, since it chews through bullets so fast.
And said bullets are the same rounds you share with the bolt action in single-fire rifles, so there's really almost no point in using it.
One can't talk about the RE4 remake without mentioning the voice acting. Across the board, it's pretty solid, with characters trading in lovable corny performances in the original for more grounded, realistic ones.
You really feel that this Leon is the exact same guy from the RE2 remake, and he's been through some heinous stuff. Ashley is stellar this time around, one of the best performances in the game. And you got Luis and Salazar, who are just like they were in the original.
Osman Sadler is less Adam's family and way more menacing in the remake. Krauser, funny enough, feels more cartoony in the remake, but his motivations now make way more sense. And of course, then there is Ada.
We hate to say it, but her performance seems completely phoned in. The new voice actress isn't bad, but her effort is seemingly non-existent. We hope that they sort this out for separate ways.
But a few small nitpicks aren't going to stand in the way of this total juggernaut of a game.
We're excited to see where the series heads next. Although from the looks of it, we might be seeing something with a certain Resident Evil 1 character pretty soon.
Yes, if you've played the original, there will be some changes and a few things missing.
But overall, the entire game is executed nearly perfectly, with fantastic music and voice acting, for the most part, to give the game a serious but still full atmosphere.
The gameplay is great, and even after spending 15 plus hours on it, we guarantee you'll want to head back into the village when you're all done.
I remember those lost in the dark.